Hey everybody, welcome to Lamb Living. My name is Holly Lamb, and today I'm taking part in the Oh Come Let Us Adore Him, Christ the Lord collaboration with Favi from Arrows DIY. And in this collaboration, we are focusing on Christ, the Christ of Christmas, Jesus, who is our greatest gift from God Almighty, the Heavenly Father. And I'm going to be focusing on the Magi, the three wise men, the kings that came from the East, to worship the Word, Creator, the King of Kings, and of course the Messiah. So we are going to start off with some blanks that I got from Hobby Lobby. They are $1.99, but of course they are 50% off right now. All the Christmas is at Hobby Lobby. So I got those two for $1. And then I'm going to be using these beautiful Names of Jesus stencils from Jamie Ray Vintage. And there are 12 different names of Jesus in this stencil pack. And they're in a beautiful kind of an old world font. They're just lovely. And I'm going to be using this Americana Sage Mint. Just an acrylic paint. And there's my JRV stencil brush that I'm so careful with. I love this thing. It's got soft bristles, but still they're stiff enough. And I'm just going to use my little stencils. I'm not going to put down any adhesive or anything like that. As long as I keep one hand on the stencil, and then I use a very dry brush and quickly pull up. There's no smudges, perfect stenciling every time. I didn't have to redo any of them. I quickly go ahead and put that into a pan of water with a little bit Dawn dish soap in it, and those will clean up so I can use them again. All right, so there I am getting an equal amount on the end of my stencil brush, and then you see I dab it off on the other little red card. And if it dabs off real thick, then I'm going to dab some more. There we go, Redeemer. He is our Redeemer. That's what he was born to be, our Savior and our Redeemer. Just beautiful. And I love the white. I did not paint these, the ceramic ornaments, that perfect round. It just stands out so beautifully on my Christmas tree, and it really draws the eye to all these beautiful names of our Creator, of our Redeemer. All right, now I am going to go ahead and clear coat it with this Super Matte Mod Podge. It's kind of my favorite right now. I've been enjoying this super matte finish, which it has. It's kind of like the Rust-Oleum top coat, matte clear top coat. It also has a clear finish, so either one of those. Now, I was out penny shopping with my husband last Tuesday. They had Dollar General, had all their penny list, was huge. And so we went on a little adventure penny shopping. And but while I was there, I picked up some of this tinsel. I've been looking for some kind of retro, real thin tinsel to use in my DIYs right now. I couldn't find any, so I was made to give my tinsel a haircut. So there's the messy, and there's the little bit cleaner version, and I do trim it up even after I put it on here. Okay, now I'm going to put these on the back. This is just music that I've downloaded from Etsy. It's already got some beautiful patinas and pictures built into them. They're journal pages, and I've been doing some journaling. Lynn from L&J Goods has got me journaling right now, and I've been enjoying some of her classes with that. It's a lot of fun. If you've never been over to her page at L&J Goods, make sure you do so. They're a lot of fun. Now I'm going to be picking out the ones that I've copied or printed onto this bright white cardstock, because it's the same color as my ceramic piece from Hobby Lobby. And so it's going to blend nicely. And all the prints that come from that, I think it's from the creator My Porch Prints on Etsy. I'll link it below in my description box if you want to check it out. And so I always, when I do cardstock with decoupage, I always like to wet the cardstock first, then put a little decoupage on the piece, and then put them together, because cardstock is a little, of course, thicker, and I feel like it decoupages a little bit better that way. All right, so now I'm just going to put a little bit of my tinsel on the front. I'm turning the little ribbon hanger that it comes with. It comes with this ribbon hanger already from Hobby Lobby, all ready to be hung on a tree. And so I'm just putting the knot down inside, you know, the tinsel so it doesn't show. So we just have a loop going onto our tree. And then I am just, you know, taking that tinsel and wrapping it around. That's, of course, the back. And here they are. Here's King of Kings and Lord. I love this font. I love the looks of this. This is from John 1:14. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. Of God our Creator and Jesus, Adonai, Jehovah, Elohim, our Redeemer. Amen. All right, let's go into the second DIY. I found this at the Goodwill bins. It was just a big wood cutout of an ornament. And my last name is not Cox, so as somebody did a great job on this, is a darling. But I'm going to kind of, you know, take it a different way for our Oh Come Let Us Adore Him. And I'm going to use some of this decoupage paper from Jamie Ray Vintage again. And this is one of her, one of Zeb and Jamie's discontinued decoupage papers. And so on their website right now, you can get these for $3, this decoupage paper. And I'll link her, their website below. And they have an app and whatnot. But I'm going to save this angel over here, and I'm going to use this one. Wir loben dich is German for we praise you. But I wanted to put that on the ornament or on our wall hanging. I wanted the definition because, you know, I don't speak German. I just have looked it up. I know that's what it means. And so I want anyone who sees this wall hanging to know that they can adore him because we will praise you. We praise you is what that means in German. So I'm going to kind of cover up all this beautiful green and red on the front, sides, back, all the little edges. Everything's going to get 2 coats of plaster chalk paint. It doesn't have to be perfect because this decoupage paper is, it's not tissue. It's 18-pound paper. So it's thin, but it's still sturdy enough to make it a lot easier to work with than tissue paper. And so here I am making sure I can get all those German words there above the angel. And here's the Super Matte Mod Podge again. We're going to get that nice matte finish. So I'm going to put it a little bit down. I don't feel like I need to wet the back. Some people do. Some people wet the back of decoupage paper, but I'm going to use my brayer. And I got these brayers I ordered them from Amazon. It was a set of 3 for $99. And I've used them so much. I thought that was a great price. They're a really great little brayer. I'll link that below. If you're looking for a set of brayers, I've really enjoyed this. I use the biggest one mostly, but sometimes I use the littler ones. I keep them right there in my basket beside me. And I'm just going to do this in 3 sections, making sure that I'm pressing out any of the fold lines. And like I say, some people like to wet the back of decoupage paper. Sometimes I do that. I didn't in this case. It didn't seem to matter. And we will be using the holes there that they had originally drilled to hang it, but we'll poke that through after the decoupage paper dries and the Mod Podge dries. It'll still be quite easy to poke through. So there we go. A little bit more of the brayer. Now it's all dry. I would not do this unless it was completely dry. So I'm going ahead and trimming as close as I can so I can keep that angel for another project. Yeah, we can get 2 out of this very large. I think they're 20 by 30 inch papers. And they're just really nice. I really enjoy the decoupage. JRV, they also have rice papers as well, which I love rice paper. But this is 18-pound paper, which is great. Very easy to work with. So there we go. I love it. I love it. It's perfect shape. We've got all our words. I'm going to put a top coat of the super matte so we have that nice matte finish. And then we can do all kinds of fun stuff to it. There we go. All set. Now, originally, there it is, the Wir loben dich, German for we praise you. And back in the 1700s, when Mozart was alive, it wasn't Mozart who wrote this, but I think it was like 1771, this song was written. And so I printed it out on kind of a darker cardstock, and I get all my cardstock at Walmart. And I'm going to be using this Iron Orchid Designs Vintage Textures stamp, and it's got 4 different stamps in it, 4 different textures. This is the fine line crackle, and then there's the fine line crackle, beautiful. And I'm not pushing down like I normally would push down every part of the stamp to get every part of the design. Not with this. I'm just kind of lightly dab, dab, dab. I'm also going to use the larger crackle to go kind of on top, and I'm just going to do this a little bit. So just a little bit. I'm barely even, pushing down. I'm not re-inking, and you can still see that that just really gives it that vintage look. All right, now I'm going to tear this, and I'm going to do it the old way that I used to. I'm just going to run my tongue across and lick it and get it wet, and then it just tears perfectly. Works every time, okay? I don't suggest that for you, but that's the way I do it. And so I don't do it on the ink side, but I do it on the blank side. And look at this, perfect tear every time. No worries. So anyway, I told you I've been penny shopping at Dollar General, and here's one of my penny finds. And I tell you what, if you haven't looked into penny shopping at Dollar General, it is exciting to get, several things for a penny a piece, for under $1, a full cart full. It's fun. All right, so I just took my little poker tool from my little weeding tool from Cricut, and I poked through my holes. I'm kind of roughing up this paper. I originally decided to make a tassel with my music. Here's the Rub and Buff. I'm using the gold leaf. I'm going to kind of make the topper to my ornament there with the gold leaf. I'll paint it on with this teeny tiny brush, and then I'm going to rub it in with my finger. So I'll have one gold finger that I have to wash off, but it'll come off with on power wash, no problem. All right, so you see, I originally made a tassel with the music over there. I got some extra of my old music, and I printed out, the printout that I kind of distressed with the crackle stamps. But then I decided that it was too thick, it was too cumbersome, so I'm going to end up, after I do all this beautiful gold leafing, put a little on the trumpet, a little on the sign, a little on the angel's crown, and a few of the sections of the wings, just to kind of make it a little more, a little shimmery. That's what we can do here at Christmas time, especially with angels. All right, so I've decided, nope, don't like it. So I carefully peeled off that hot glue, and I tore it just a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to come back with the Rub and Buff, and we'll fix that, no problem. And then I'm going to just tear off one of the phrases from this song from 1771, or whenever it was written by a German, I think he was a poet, or anyway, a German composer. And so I'm just going to decoupage it. Now, I didn't go all the way across, and I wanted it to kind of go all the way across, so I just tore a little bit of my, music that I had there, and I'm just going to, decoupage that on. Now, this also is cardstock, even though I've beat it up and kind of crinkled it and crumpled it. I am going to go ahead and paint on the back of this cardstock, because that's what works for me best. And also put it on the project. And then there we go. A little bit more music on this side, just to make sure as I put this on, it kind of rounds off and makes a nice long line of that music. I'm going to come back with my vintage texture stamps and finish stamping the rest of the project, the whole thing. I fixed the tassel and I put it back down with zip ties. I have a baggie of zip ties there, and now it's dry, and I took my nail file and I just filed it off like I did the decoupage paper before. Everything's dry. All right, so let me fix that little spot that I pulled up with the hot glue. And I'm just going to put in some little lines and some textures and some interesting things. Rub it in with my finger. And then here's the stamps again. I wanted to get those little music pieces on the side of the "We Praise You." Oh Lord, we praise you for your mercy, for your love, for your goodness. All right, and then I did it all over the whole piece, both texture stamps. There's also like a Carrara marble in that set, and then I think some kind of animal print. I don't know, something. There's four anyway. All right, so those go straight into a Dawn dish soap water, and those will clean up beautifully. So I had a little bit more gold leaf on my wax paper there, and so I just decided to just kind of dry brush a little bit onto the black beads there, and rub. It always looks better when you burnish it in, this rub and buff. It's kind of like a wax, and look how pretty. I put it on my mantle for now. I staged it there with some picks from the Dollar Tree. Beautiful florals this year. Has kind of that kind of burgundy wine color. So pretty. Now let's go into those kings right there you saw looking at the angel. This is Rummage. This is the store where I keep a lot of my projects to sell on consignment. And anytime I go down, Kim will text me and say she has a check ready for me, and I'll go down, and if I get something while I'm there picking up my check, then Kim gives me a discount on anything I buy, on one thing anyway. And so I was looking at all her Christmas stuff out. She already had her Christmas stuff out. Mid-November, and these kings kind of caught my eye. I like that they were wood. I love the colors on the kings' gowns and robes and crowns and whatnot. But I thought I want to make it a little more in keeping with the decor around here at my house. So this wooden piece right here, I wanted to paint it the plaster color by Waverly, and I give it 3 coats. And then I'm going to distress it back just a little bit, just like all of my, vases and, most of the signs and frames around here. So it all kind of goes together and looks cohesive. Now, here are the nail files that I use for crafting. I also use it on my nails too. But they have a nice, one side is a really nice thick grit, like a low number grit, and one side is a really higher number grit. And so, $8.99 for 50 nail files, you can't beat that. You can't beat that. Normally I like to buy things local, but that is just a really good deal, and these are really good nail files. So I just thought I'd put that out there if you're looking for some fine line. I had to get in all those cracks and crevices where all those cuts were. And you can see that is where we started, and here's where we came to. So it's just a little bit distressed. There we go. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the super matte on there because I'm going to white wax it. And if you white wax without a top coat with raw wood, of course this still has some paint on it, but there's some raw wood there on the edges, white wax will take over and it'll be hard to pull off. So I'm trying and this is a brand new can of Annie Sloan white wax. And I got this when we went down to St. Mary's a couple weekends ago. Look at that. I got the big can. We went down to Cottle and Gun. That's where I get all my IOD supplies. And my parents went as well. We went to this great market she had. It was called, Jingle Junkin', I don't know, Girls Gone Junkin', Jingle Junkin' Market. And it was great. I mean, there were so many great things, and the store looked fantastic. And I got a bunch of IOD stuff that was retiring so I can make sure I, don't miss out. And I've got them. And I bought a lot of molds. I'm gonna start using a lot of the resin from the Dollar Tree. Is great. It's a 24-hour resin. It's a clear cast, but it really turns out well. All right, so there I go, nooks and crannies. There I go, and then I rub it off. Here comes the second coat on the base. I'm gonna end up a third coat as well, and then I'm just gonna barely distress it, just on the edges where it would normally get wear. And that'll match, everything I have around here, frames and whatnot. Just wipe it off there. Now, there There we go, just a little bit of distress, and we're going to put our kings back in there. And they're waxed and all finished and ready to go. And I've put it right there on the mantle, and don't they look beautiful with that wall hanging, the color of the kind of cranberry and the one king's gowns and robes with those Dollar Tree picks. I just love the way this looks. A little bit of distress, but still beautiful color, so royal and regal. They came a long way to see the newborn king. All right, now let's move on. This is my last DIY, and I bought this book at Ollie's. We also got that little blow up, which is out in the yard right now. We put it up today. But I'm gonna take this book, which is full of beautiful art, and I'm gonna use these frames from the Dollar Tree, $2.99 I got that book for, and look at the gorgeousness. Yeah, I even used the book. I've taken all the pictures out of them, but the book is on an easel in my dining room where I'm making my gallery wall. So I'm going to use this. Look at how this napkin matches every page. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, there's a mat in that, yep, I used some of the words, right? And the dialogue and the, yeah. And I'm going to use that napkin. We're going to decoupage that onto that white mat. So there it is. It's a super thin cardboard. I wouldn't even call it cardboard. It's more cardstock. I don't even know if, I think my cardstock I was using for the music a minute ago was a little bit thicker. But anyway, this particular napkin had 3 layers. I was kind of showing you there. I'm pulling off 2 layers at once. And I'll use that for napkins and wiping up things and cleaning my brushes. Now I'm just using regular matte Mod Podge right here, and this is the first way. I started with this because when I think decoupage, I think Mod Podge. But I changed my medium here in just a minute. So here I go, regular, lay it down, make sure I don't get any of the fold lines. I pull those out. Yep, and I wasn't really worried about creases and crinkles because I wanted this to look, you know, like tapestry-like and kind of vintage and old. I'm going to distress the frames just a little bit. I'm not going to paint the frames though. I'm going to leave them the golden color that I found there at the Dollar Tree because it goes right with this gold in the background of this particular napkin. I just love that pattern. It's so pretty. Go for so many holidays. All right, so here's what I would suggest if you did this with this thin cardboard. The Jot glue sticks work great, and you get a pack of like 8 or 10. I can't remember how many you get, but it's a bunch for $1.25. And I love the Jot. I love mostly anything Jot. Jot glue sticks, Jot markers. Jot does a great job. All right, so there I go. And also, the Mod Podge, when I couldn't do this, I could go ahead and flip it over and start trimming before, you know, right away. I didn't have to wait for anything to really dry. I mean, it is a little moist, and I'm going to set it, after I get it all trimmed and fixed, I'm going to set it aside before I start putting the pictures in it. But still, I was able to, with the glue stick, I was able to go ahead and start trimming. Now, I'm trimming about 1/8 of an inch from the outside edge and about 1/4 of an inch from the inside. So I'm going to use my glue stick again, and I'm going to, of course, I'm going to go all the way to the corners, leaving about 1/4 of an inch there, all the way to the corner. And I'm going to be folding back the napkin onto this little frame, or this mat. There we go, nice and neat, both sides. The outside wouldn't matter as much, but then I didn't have to worry about it folding the wrong way or whichever. Or, you know, tearing back if it hits an edge. So that just made it a little easier on me when I start putting together this gallery wall. All right, so there it is. So I'm gonna let that dry. And here I come to my book, and I've already started, cutting out the pages. And so I take one of the X-Acto blades from the Dollar Tree, and I am just running it. This is a hardback book. I don't know why I didn't buy 2 of these books for $2.99. I should have gotten 2. Anyway, But I decide which side I'm going to use. And look at these beautiful art, full page art on these. Just gorgeous. Love it. All right, so let's get these framed up. I'm going to use baby wipe and clean the inside of the glass. I can always clean the outside of the glass later. I've been careful not to put my fingerprints on it, but this is my last chance to clean the inside of the glass without some effort. So I've got it cleaned and then rubbed dry with a paper towel. And then I'm going to take a little dab of clear tape, putting the sticky side up. I'm going to put that under on each side. And so when I lay the mat down, I can see exactly where I want to put it. And then I'll press it into that tape and it'll stay put as I flip it over and get ready to go into the frame. So there we go, exactly where I want it. Now, it turns out I had to go back to the Dollar Tree to get some more because, of course, I'd used more pages than I'd originally intended. And when I went back, I got the same. It looked like the same. It was the same picture, 8x10 frame, but it turned out to be a little different. So you see this one with the kind of cardboard arm if we want to set it up, and those cardboard pieces on the inside. Well, these that I got the second go to Dollar Tree, these had kind of those little foam pieces to kind of keep it nice and taut against the glass. And they're ever so slightly smaller. So you see how I'm gonna have to trim off a little bit. So when I do my gallery wall, I made sure to kind of mix them up so that it wasn't so evident. I mean, of course, my husband wandered in and said, "Are they the same?" And I said, yes. And I said, no, they're not the same. So they're a little bit different, but you know, it's okay. It's all good. There we go. I'm gonna put the pieces in there, put a little dab of tape. And then I'm just using my scissors to push back the little binders there, and there we go. So I love it, I love it. Now I'm just going to bring back, there was a couple of little bitty scratches on one or two. Not sure how they got there, but you know, it could have been me, I don't know, as I was getting them out. So I'm just going to go with it. It was black on the underneath, so it worked, it was fine. And so I went ahead and just distressed on the edges, every one of my frames, and I put a little on top, a little on the inside. And then I'm going to use these poster strips, these Command poster strips I bought at Walmart. And I'm going to put one in each corner, so 4 poster strips. And the beauty of these Dollar Tree frames, they're really light. So these poster strips was all I need. And there they are. Oh, we get the whole story of the Magi seeing the star in the east and deciding feeling that call to come and worship the King of Kings. This says, "Oh, stable, how could that be? They had expected a royal palace, but there was the child with his mother Mary and Joseph of Nazareth. They found him, they brought him the gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh, to symbolize his life and his death, his burial, which leads to the resurrection." Now, I wanted to add a little extra zhuzh for above my portrait there, so I put the gallery wall on either side of my wedding picture there. And so I found this is Hello Goodbye, and I found this mesh. They had, so many good prices on so many pretty Christmas things, but they had this big bucket of mesh, brand new, still in the package, for $3 a roll. I mean, this is a great price. This stuff goes for $10 easy at, Michael's or Hobby Lobby. It's huge. It's just huge. And I love big, fancy bows. All right, so I'm going to have a little tussle with some with some mesh. Mesh is, it's good and it's bad. It's a fight. It's on. I'm fighting with it, but I'm gonna win. It's gonna be okay. But the fun is it's gonna keep its shape, right? There's not a lot of fluffing involved with mesh because it's gonna wanna fluff up. It's fighting me. It wants to curl, it wants to fluff, and so, hey, I'm in for the good fight. So I'm just going to fold it in half here, and then I'll fold this one again. These are going to be the tails. So basically, that's how I'm going to make this big bow. Is just kind of cut some mesh, one bigger than the other, and then I'm just going to let the mesh kind of curl and hang all foofy and puffy, just like it wants to be. Now here's a smaller one, and then I'm just going to wrap this around these zip ties. You could tie it, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip tie it again. So I use 4 zip ties by the end of it. So here comes number 3. And I'm going to zip tie this together, and then I'm going to run a tie underneath, and then this is the last one. There you go. I'm going to trim and trim. And this last one is the only one that's not going to be pulled all the way tight. So I'm just going to make this one loose, and that's going to be the loop that'll hang on my little command hook that I'm putting above my portrait for this bow. And there we go. There's the back, and there's the front. Beautiful, easy, fast, and look, it just wants to puff and curl and do beautiful things. So the fight was worth it. Look at these beautiful portraits, these beautiful pictures. Just gorgeous. And I made sure to add some of the script that was so poignant to the story. There's the shepherds. They got the angels' announcement. Came to shepherds first. I love it. I love it. Just beautiful. I want to thank Favi for putting this together. She's just a wonderful Christian lady. Her channel is Arrows DIY, which is linked below. Be sure to check out the playlist. I also have that linked in my description box below. Let me read to you from Matthew 2. This is 9 through 11. When they heard the king, they departed, and behold, a star which they had seen in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they had come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented to him gifts, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. These great men of renown came to this baby, but they felt the joy, they felt the glory, they felt the praise. Thank you so much for watching today. We're going to continue this praise. This is the candle that was my Christ candle last year in my Advent wreath. Advent starts not this Sunday, but next Sunday, and so I'll get me a new one. I like to have a brand new one every year, so I'll just enjoy that one. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and click the like button and leave me a comment and all those wonderful things. And I hope to see you back here in my next video. So from the blue house on the corner, may God bless you and bring you the Prince of Peace this Christmas season, you and your family. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.